Hello everyone, welcome back for another Star Trek The Official Starships Collection review. Now in front of me is issue number 68, the Federation attack fighter seen on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It may or may not have been on the Next Generation in the episode Preemptive Strike. I think it was in like one of the opening scenes with the Maquis attacking the Cardassian ship. So yeah, this is the attack fighter. I've been kind of looking forward to this one. And so now it's finally here, and the magazine and the model, so I'll put this aside to share with you in a moment. And there is the magazine. Issue 68, the Federation attack fighter. It is considered a type fighter, launched in the 24th century with a crew of only 2 and approximately 25 meters long. Nice image there on the cover. And you turn the page, and your table of contents, your stand assembly, Eagle Moss information, and your specification. It is considered again a fighter. It's affiliated with the Federation. In the 24th century, 25 meters long, a crew of only 2. Its top speed is warp 9. Now that I didn't know. Its weaponry was phaser emitters, photon torpedoes, and pulse cannons. Turning the page there, and you have a neat underside image of the fighter there, as well as some more text. And here is a shot of it firing its phase cannons or phasers or whatnot. And here are some more images of the ship and more text. Interestingly enough, I think Eagle Moss got this one wrong, because that is the Maquis Raider seen later on in the series. And of course on Star Trek Voyager, and back to the episode that I mentioned previously, Preemptive Strike. I don't know why that would be in this magazine, but you know, I guess since we're talking about the Maquis and fighters and stuff like that, I guess it makes a little bit of sense. Here's a nice image of the ship there, so that's kind of cool. And here are the fighters in the opening battle of the Dominion War, and then there's Calvin Hudson, who later defected to the Maquis. And here's the specification / centerfold / diagram page showing you what the various components are, as well as some more text and trivia off to the left there, specifically about Operation Return, the battle to retake Deep Space Nine from the Dominion. And those fighters were featured very prominently in that battle. Turning the page is the design process of the fighter. Kind of cool. Kind of started out as just a standard fighter, and then it later turned into the Maquis fighters, and then how it went back to becoming a fighter to defend the Federation against the Dominion. And there's actually the studio model there, and the CGI studio model. And here's our interesting section. Basically about the quote-unquote digital revolution. Deep Space Nine was probably one of the first Star Trek, I think it's the first Star Trek series to feature a whole lot of background battles and explosions and ships moving around and all that kind of stuff. You didn't really see much of that on the Next Generation, especially on the original series. A lot of stock footage was used on those shows to show you the various ships flying by and warping by and firing weaponry and all that kind of stuff. Every once in a while there was a new shot, and those were cool, of course. But Deep Space Nine really threw it off the map, and you saw ships exploding and floating and crashing and just kind of hovering and battle damage. I mean, it was just epic at that time. And here is one of those scenes. And I guess these are the 2 fellas who pioneered or started that whole thing. And a big old section about that. And here are more scenes from the battle of Operation Return, or basically Operation Retake Deep Space Nine. Here is one of those scenes from that battle in the episode Sacrifice of Angels. And here are some composite shots, which is actually kind of odd and interesting. You can see they refer to all the Galaxy class as Enterprise 1, Enterprise 2, It's kind of cool. And these were Excelsior 1, Excelsior 2. And then there's the completed shot. And more shots there and text about that, which is kind of cool. And some storyboards and more text and more scenes from the battle, of course, on the right and top bottom. And here is the on-screen appearance page. Its first appearance was in the Maquis Part 2. It also appeared in the episode Preemptive Strike. It did not appear on Star Trek Voyager. That honor went to the other Maquis Raider. And so yeah, it was designed by Jim Martin, and basically the Maquis was supposed to be the backstory for Star Trek Voyager, as Star Trek Voyager, the series, was launching several months, or just a few short months after the after this Next Generation episode aired, and also right around the time Deep Space Nine aired the Maquis Part 1 and 2. So yeah, that is the Federation Attack Fighter magazine, and as you can see to the right here, the Breen warship, featured on Deep Space Nine. Issue number 69 will be coming this month or next month. Next month, yes, next month. So I look forward to sharing that with you. And so yeah, that rounds up the magazine, and on the back of the magazine there's the ship. So there it is, and let's get to the model itself. There it is. So let's get it out of the box. And now, the first impression is, it's pretty cool. I was looking forward to this one because, oh, look at that, a boo-boo. This little impulse engine thingy kind of broke off, but as you can see, it's easily fixable. I'm not going to go through the trouble to ask for a replacement. It just slides right in there and problem solved. Doesn't fall off anymore. Might have to apply a little bit of glue to that, but no big deal. The top Aztecing and paneling is pretty nice on the top there. It's mostly metal. And the bottom is plastic, kind of, sort of, yeah. There's your cockpit and your warp nacelles there. A bit disappointing that it's painted as opposed to the blue clear plastic that they do for other engines and stuff like that. But I guess being this small, it would have been kind of hard to slip that in there. But it could have been done, I guess. The underside has some good detailing and paneling there as well. Again, there's the warp nacelles. It just would have looked a lot cooler with that blue field warp nacelle field grill right there. It would have made it stand out a little bit more, I think. There's nothing on this model to tell you that it's a Federation ship. No Starfleet pendants or any kind of registry or anything like that. These things were highly maneuverable. They went fast, apparently. I didn't know they went to Warp 9. They only had a crew of 2, and you really got to see them in action on the 2 Maquis episodes from Deep Space Nine. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I guess there's just not much to really talk about. I guess the history of this ship is very interesting, considering that it was one of the first times a quote-unquote warship or attack fighter was seen on Star Trek, considering how it's all about exploration and the betterment of humanity and all that kind of good stuff. And interestingly enough, this ship was inspired by Star Wars, of all things, and blasphemy. No, just kidding. I like Star Wars, but not like Trek. But yeah, this model's cool. If you're thinking about getting this, I would. Especially if you're a collector and or fan of only the Federation Starfleet-ish models and ships in the collection. As of now, this is issue 68, so we're pretty far along. 30 more issues to go until the originally planned issue number 90, which I think is like supposed to be the last issue, but I think that's been extended, and not including specials and plaques and other things that they throw at us from down the pipeline. this is a cool model. I wish it had a little bit more detail, a little bit more weathering, you know, damage looking, considering that it was never this pretty in the episodes. I wish the engines could have been more highlighted. It makes me want to take like a blue Sharpie or something and try to paint it in there, but I know that my hand's probably not that steady when it comes to those sorts of things, and I'll probably end up messing it up. But aside from those two things, I'd say it's a very nice model. I was looking forward to it. I always wanted a Federation fighter since I was a kid. Since I first saw it on screen, I thought it was cool. And I think it's even on one of the video games. I think Dominion Wars, to be exact. I think it is. Yeah, so anyway, pretty cool. And as usual, it comes with a stand that says Federation Attack Fighter, which is interesting because it was used more by the Dominion, used more by the Maquis than the Federation. But later on, of course, the Federation, I guess, started using them to fight the Dominion, and they were pretty fast, highly maneuverable, and they could slip in between ships and in and out and all that kind of stuff, and they could apply some pretty devastating blows before they were picked off. So yeah. That's the Federation fighter, and next month I look forward to sharing with you issue number 69, the Breen Warship. So that ought to be really cool. And until then, live long and prosper. Stay safe out there, especially to my friends over in Europe, England, and Ireland, and Scotland. And I hope things are turning out or will turn out for the better, especially for those of you dealing with the whole Brexit thing. Just know you have friends and support over here in the United States, and I wish you all well, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Until then, live long and prosper.